Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about what I do to store the snowblower for summertime. We're getting close to the end of the season here in Minnesota. We probably could get a couple of more snowstorms that would come through, but hopefully I won't need the snowblower for them. If I do, I could obviously start it right back up. But this is the process that I go through to shut this thing down and store it for the summertime. The first thing I do is I go through and I get all the gas out of the gas tank. I'll use this here to siphon it out. I can show you how this works in a second. Siphon out all the gas, put it into one of my other tanks, and I can use it for other things like my pressure washer here in the summertime. So I'll get all the gas out of here, and then I'll start it up and I'll let it run until it dies. It doesn't have more gas in it. And then the next thing we will do is we will change the oil on it down here. I've already got a wrench up here for it. It's a 5/8 wrench. We'll drain the oil out of there. And then the last thing we'll do is we'll open up this right here with taking off these two bolts, get to where the spark plug is, take the spark plug out, spray some WD-40 in there, and then I like to pull the handle a couple of times to work that WD-40 in it, and then try and pull it where the piston will stay dead at the top of the chamber to prevent any rust from getting in that chamber. That's really the three simple things you got to do is like run out of gas, change the oil, and make sure you don't get any moisture in your cylinder wall where your piston's going up and down. There are some other things you can do to it as well, which we'll talk about after I do those three things, but that's the main three things that I do every year. Let's get started. Let's get the gas out of the gas tank here first with this siphon I have here. And so it's just a battery activated siphon. It's got a button here on the top of it. Turn it on, you can hear it. You can actually probably see it spinning there. Yeah, you can see right there when I turn it on, it spins at the end of it here. And that will suck as much gas as I can out of here and put it back into that gas tank there. So let's do that first. So we gotta get to the gas tank here and take off the lid to our gas can. Set that there. Make sure I got enough room to go from my gas tank here to the gas tank there. And so let's put that into there. And this gas tank on here is a little, like it's got some pockets in it, but we'll see how much gas we get out of it. Make sure you hold on to this tube as I'm pulling it out, because otherwise it'll might get loose on you. So you can see it's pulling the gas out now. Gas is going into my can here. It's not a whole lot of gas left in there. Sometimes you got to move this around to try and get the pockets. But there wasn't a whole lot of gas left in it. So that's step one that I do, is I take this to try and get any of that extra gas out of there. And now that I've taken all the gas out of here that I can, we will then start this up and let it run until it runs out of gas. Make sure we turn it on, get any gas out of that tank into the carb. So there we go. That took about 2 minutes to go through the rest of that gas. I'm gonna go ahead and try and start it up one more time to see if it's got anything else left in it. Yeah, there's no gas left in it. So that's step one. So step number two is to take this bolt off of here. That's where the oil is in it. It's a 5/8 bolt here. I like to hold on to it with some channel locks or something. Just hold on to this other bar here to make sure that that doesn't twist. And I also like to put a piece of board like this underneath it to kind of just lean the snowblower that direction, so that it runs out a little bit easier there. I just get a hold of this top one to make sure it doesn't move on me. Otherwise you'll twist the whole bar. Loosen this up. And then that'll come right off. And try not to drop your bolt there. You can see how dirty brown that oil looks. Looks pretty dirty. So we'll let all that drain out and then we will fill it back up. So now that it's all drained out, we'll go ahead and put bolt back on it. Make sure that's tight. And so what we'll replace it with will be this full synthetic 5W30 oil I'll put back in there from Power Care. So let's dump this out into our used oil container, and then we will fill it back up with oil. Here's where we fill it back up. Put the oil back in it. It's empty right now, as if we would expect. Let's put a funnel in there, and it'll take about, I don't know, 4.5 cups, about a liter of oil. So that was about 20 ounces in that container, so probably I'll need about 12 more ounces to fill it all the way up. So let's put the dipstick back in it. Looks like it's right on there, so good with the oil we put back in it. And then the last thing I want to do is open it up inside of here, get to where the spark plug is, and spray some WD-40 inside of there. This just pops off. It should. Pulls right off of there. This comes out of the way. And then our spark plug is right down in there. You can see it. We'll pull that cover off of there, take the spark plug out. A little bit of a tight squeeze in here. But that comes right off of it. And now you guys can see the spark plug right there, right? So it looks like that's 5/8 the spark plug, as it looks like. So there's our spark plug, and while you're at it, take a look at your spark plug, see if you might want to change it. I changed this one not too long ago. It's not looking too bad. You probably could change it. I don't have one with me right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one back in there. But this would be a time to inspect your spark plug and put a new one there if you feel like you need one. So now that that's out of the way, we will just spray some WD-40 in there, and then pull the crank on it a couple times. Makes that piston go up and down inside of there. And this just keeps it from, getting rust inside of that cylinder. So our spark plug goes back in. And make sure that's on there and started. Looks like it is. So that's back on there. Make sure the wire is connected back to it. And then this goes right back on here. Put the 2 screws in here. So one other thing you can do is you can put up the snowblower like this, what's called service position. You can get inside of here to get to the friction plate by taking off these bolts around the sides of it down here, and the ones up here to get in here to get the friction plate to look at it. You can take the wheels off if you wanted to grease those, to grease the axles on them. I done that last time, so I'm not going to do it this time. I don't do it every year. So that's some other things you can do to it, and then obviously you can check out how the belts look inside of the bell housing in here. I'll put some links down below on the products I use, the oil I use to do this down below. So that's all there is to it. It's, drain the fuel out of it, run it till it runs out of gas, change the oil in it, drain it out from the back here like we did, fill it back up, and then take that spark plug out and put some WD-40 in there so it'll keep the cylinder from developing any rust. And it's ready to be stored for summertime. And then come next winter, we'll be ready to go. We'll have to put more gas in it, and it should start right back up for us. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure and let me know down below in the comments what you think about what is your process for getting your snowblower ready to store it for summertime. That's the process I go to, and it usually seems to work out for me every time. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you guys on the next one.